and blessings, everyone. Welcome to the Humble Servant Homestead, guys. Today I am here getting ready. Now, I made you all a promise, guys, that I will be taking you all along with us here on the homestead with some container gardening, guys. Just want to let you all see and just know how simple it is to grow in container. There is just a few small steps that you need to follow. So at this time here, you will see some clips where I was going around and just gathering some different organic compost matter here on the homestead, guys. And so the first one where I stopped, that was goat manure. Okay, now that goat manure have been sitting down for at least about 6 months to 8 months and just been breaking down in that spot. And then the next stop where I made, when I removed that blue tarp, that was chicken manure, guys. And so I take that manure through that process, and once that process is done, what I go ahead and do is cover it. Simple reason why: I don't want all that nutrients that's in the manure to wash out, because if the rain fall, that the goodness in the manure can seep down into the dirt. So I cover it. All right, so this right here is just some organic matter that I will be using to grow my potatoes. Now, potatoes, usually I would plant them a little bit earlier, but guys, after doing that, you learn a few lessons, because what happened, you plant them early and those start shooting up out the ground, and guess what? That frost come through and knock them back. And so we are planting them now at this time. But before we go any further, we are in grow zone 8A, guys. And so yes, it's beautiful outside, and that let us know it is time to go ahead and start planting. I have checked my frost date to see if I will be getting any more frost, and so far what I can see, it is looking good. It's looking good. So I'm just gonna just keep on praying that it stays the same, guys. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do right now, with all that goodness that I've just collected in this wheelbarrow, I am pretty much going to go ahead and mix all that goodness up, guys. Okay. Usually when I do this, I use a tarp. The tarp kind of helps me a little bit, help me to be more flexible. And look at that. Earthworms. Beautiful, guys. And I'm going to leave them in here. As a matter of fact, I'll just put them on the ground so they can go ahead and run all over the yard and make more earthworms. All right. And so also what I am going to do as well, this right here is some soil that I planted in last year. And it is pretty much the same way how you see I am mixing this right now. But what I did do, I do have some topsoil, some beautiful topsoil here on the property that I had went ahead and mixed in with this dirt right here, guys. Okay, so if you have topsoil on your property that you think is real good, sometimes you can save some money from going out to the store and buying all that dirt to plant your stuff in. All right, now, but if you do have to go out and buy dirt to plant your potatoes or anything like that, you could go ahead and get even the organic mushroom compost. You can get that and use that to plant your potatoes in as well. Okay, so it's pretty much whatever you prefer. All right, so I'm gonna give this a mix, and I pray I don't make a whole bunch of mess. Okay, and so now that I have all that goodness mixed in into the soil. Now I have this rich organic matter, guys, ready to plant my potatoes in. Now there is a couple of things that I am going to go over real quick as far as container size for your potatoes. And just stay tuned, we're going to note a few more things that you need to know as far as planting your potatoes, guys. Okay, so right here, as y'all can see, I have a container here. You know what? I am not exactly sure how big this container is, but if y'all can just look and just take a guesstimate. But this right here is your regular container that you would get from your store with your fruit trees or anything like that. And so this right here, guys, this container, you want to put at least just one potato in this container right here. Simple reason why: it's a smaller container. You put 2-3 potatoes in here, you won't end up with big potatoes, guys. So keep that in mind. All right. And so this container right here, you would want to put 2 potatoes in here. All right. And so as time goes on, we'll go ahead and do that demonstration for you. Now, and this container, you would go ahead and put about 3 potatoes in here. All right. And so what we're going to go ahead and do right now is pretty much go ahead and get these containers ready. So what I'm going to do now is pretty much layer the bottom of this container right here with some soil. And so about right there would be about good. Okay. One of the things that you don't want to do with your potatoes, you don't want to put them directly on bare bottom in this container right here. Put some dirt on the bottom so they can rest on that dirt, guys. So that way, once those roots start come out, they will have contact with the soil. All right. And so just give them a shot, you know, as far as how much dirt they would want to put inside of the bottom. And I would say, based on your container, you could do right at about 25% of your container. Okay, so that's how deep you would want to go. And so that's that right there. All right. And so what I will be putting in on the bottom of this container right here as well is that Gardner Tone, guys. I would just simply go ahead, get me a nice handful like that, sprinkle in on the bottom. Now with that organic, that chicken manure and the goat manure, it do have nutrients in it as well. That would be a slow release for these potatoes as they grow over a period of time. All right. So real quick, we're just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the benefit of planting your potatoes in these containers here, guys. All right. So one of the things is potatoes, they need right at about 6 hours of sunlight. Okay. And so if it's starting to get real hot in the summer, if these potatoes are still striving by then, because usually potatoes, they don't really like a lot of heat. They're more of a cold weather crop, you know, cooler weather crop. So if the heat get too intense, the beauty about it in the container, you can move them into a shaded area. Okay. And also when it's time for you to go ahead and harvest your your potatoes, you simply can just go ahead and dump that container out and expose all those potatoes, preferably dumping them on a tarp. That way you can able to gather up that dirt and repurpose it, guys. All right. And so that is just a couple of the benefits for planting potatoes in the container. Now, another thing to note, when you're planting your potatoes, you may be planting on a balcony or on a patio or something like that. Just keep in mind, guys, if you have any kind of concrete that you will be sitting this container on, be mindful of that. That sun gets hot and that concrete gets hot as well. And you know, it can dry out your dirt real quick, cause, you know, a couple of problems with your potatoes. So also keep that in mind. It is good to kind of raise them up off that concrete if that's where you will be planting. And so, you know, of course, you know, we're doing the container gardening this year for you guys. Simpler reason why there is a lot of people out there want to know how to grow in containers, you know, because they just don't have the backspace in their yard to plant a garden. All right. And so what we're going to go ahead and do right now is grab our potatoes, guys, and we will go ahead and show you all how to go about planting them. Okay, guys, and so one of the varieties of potatoes that we will be planting here on the homestead in containers for you guys is the Yukon Gold. We absolutely love these potatoes here. We planted them last year and we had real good result from them. And so we will be planting them again this year. Now, this right here, you can get these right now from your local box stores. Just check with them. If you don't see them, ask them, hey, do you guys have some seed potatoes? And you can go ahead and check for them. Now, one of the way how you can go about getting seed potatoes as well, guys, if you go to your local market, maybe say Whole Foods or one of those markets out there, a lot of times they will have potatoes, but it's not just any potatoes. Keep that in mind. So you want to look for organic potatoes, guys. Okay. So, and the reason why you want to look for organic potato, these potatoes, they are natural as possible. There's no growth hormones on them or anything like that, or growth inhibitor on them. And so any ones that don't mark organic, you might want to keep away from those, because what will happen, no eyes will sprout. Okay. And even if the eyes sprout, you won't get a good result once you plant those. So make sure it is organic if you do go to some store and pick up potatoes. All right. And so what we're going to go ahead and do right now with these potatoes here. And so for this container, guys, I'm going to do 2 potatoes. Okay. Now, like I said, keep in mind, the more potatoes you put inside of this container, and as they start to grow and supposed to expand and get bigger, the more you have in there, the smaller your potatoes will turn out. Okay, so keep that in mind, because a lot of the nutrients is being used up by the different potatoes, so therefore you end up with smaller ones. All right, and so what I'm going to do now, come on in close, camera lady. So with these chits right here on these potatoes, you do not want to point them down in the ground like that. The more healthier chits that you have on your potatoes, you want to, because sometimes you can have them all over on your potatoes, and what you can do at times, you can come on in and just pluck them off, and just leaving the ones that are more healthy, and those will grow your potatoes. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and sit them in the container. Now, one of the things you want to keep in mind when you're putting them in, you don't want to put them like that on your container. Okay, you want to sit them right here, you know, give them a nice you know, parameter around them, so when those potatoes start growing, they have room to expand out. All right, and so this one, I'm going to put that one across from this one here. All right, and so what I am going to do now, guys, is I am just pretty much going to get this soil here, and any clumps that are in my dirt, we'll break that up, and we're just going to pour that on these potatoes here. All right, just like that, and we will get some more. And so with the beauty, which also planting in these container and planting them the way how I'm doing it right now, you don't have to worry about coming back and hilling these potatoes, guys. Okay, so if I was planting the potatoes, and this year I won't be doing any hilling for my potatoes as well, because of the way how I'm going to be planting them out in the field. All right, so say for instance, if you plant your potatoes right at about 4 inches, excuse that wind, right at about 4 inches in the dirt, you would want to come back on in and heal those potatoes. Simple reason why, because right there where the stem comes out of, that's where your potatoes are going to start putting out those little madules, and you want to cover that over so that way they are not exposed to the sun. Okay, so also keep that in mind. All right, so these ones right here, I think I may come up with a little bit more with the soil, and just leave them, and eventually you'll see those eyes start to shoot out. Now it's all up to you. If you have more space in your container, you want to throw a little dirt around them, you can also do that. But what I'm going to do in place of that, dear guys, for my space that's left up on the top, I'm going to come on in with some of that rejected hay that my goat did not eat and put on the top. And the reason for that as well, it helps to keep your soil moist and keep it from drying out. Now we're at that point now, we're talking about drying out. So one of the things that you want to know, guys, is don't overwater your potatoes. Don't overwater them. They won't do good if you overwater them. You just want to keep that soil moist, but not overwater. You don't want to come out every day and water your potatoes. Okay, they will get disease, they will die off, and you won't get nothing. All right, so even with this dirt, they have a lot of organic stuff in there that's going to automatically keep the ground, keep this dirt pretty moist anyway. And sometime to come in to check for moisture, just come in, peel that dirt back, look at it. If it looks real dry, that means these potatoes need some water. All right, and so guys, I'll say once a week to water your potatoes. If you come in and see that they're dry and it's drying more than you want it to be, then you water it. So it's all up to you. Everywhere is different. Your climate is different from my climate. So just check it when you come out. All right. And so another thing, to pretty much how to tell when your potatoes are ready. Now, most of these potatoes here, they give you a certain time frame when they will be ready. And so a lot of times what will happen, they'll start to die back. Okay, you'll see the foliage starting to dry up, and you know, that's also a telltale sign that your potatoes are ready to be harvested. Okay, guys? And I pray that I am not missing anything. Am I missing anything, baby? No? You sure?
No.
Okay. All right, and that's what we always want here. And so, guys, potatoes also is one of those things that is very easy to grow. Very easy to grow. Okay? All you have to do, you have to just be willing to grow potatoes. Just get up and get outside. See these hands? They're dirty. I'm out here planting my food, planting my own food. So when these potatoes are ready, guess what? My family, they're able to come on outside and get some potatoes out of here. Okay? And so y'all just stay tuned, guys, because if y'all see all these containers over here, we will be coming back on in again to do some more planting demonstration with containers. Now, one of the things that you can also do, for me right here, my dirt is a little bit harder right here in this area, right here on your pots. So right on your pots where you may have these holes and stuff like that, I'll bring you over here so I'll show you. So also what you can do, if you have loose soil wherever you may be, you can also pull that soil back just a little bit, guys, and sit your container down in that hole and cover back that dirt around those holes. And what that will also do will also help to retain a little bit more of those moistures. And even sometimes those roots will find those holes and also go into the dirt and feed from there as well, and not just the container. So you can keep that in mind. That's just another little tip here whenever you're planting in container, guys. Just to give you all a real quick story, then I'm going to close out. Remember when I was a little boy, my aunt, she loved flowers, and I was the one that used to always tend to the flowers in the containers. I used to go and get the dirt in a 5-gallon bucket and come fill them up and plant those flowers. I remember those days, guys. And so, you know, a lot of those things right now is application, applying what I learned. And so that is why it is so important. I'm telling you guys, get outside right now and start to learn the basics. Learn the basics of how to grow and how to plant food. You don't want to be scrambling in the end trying to learn something, guys. Learn it now. Listen to me, learn it now. It will help you in the long run, okay? Gardening was one of those things that we grow around. You know, I grew up around it because my family, we did used to grow yam, pumpkins, okras, and you know, my uncle is a master farmer. He farmed acres and acres of land back home in Jamaica, guys. And you know, even though I was not able to hang around him a lot when he was doing a lot of planting, but hey, guess what? I'm not far from it. A lot of people around where I came from in Clarendon, Jamaica, it was a farming parish. It was everybody there farmed to grow their food to eat. And so guys, do the same. Do the same, okay? Take some time out of your schedule during the day and grow some food, okay? I am here. The little knowledge that I have, or the little knowledge that I may have, I'm sharing it with you all right? So that is pretty much it right there. That's just a little motivation speech for you guys to get it together. Be motivated and also dedicated. Get out in that garden, guys. And so I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you all out there for stopping by the Humble Servant Homestead. And as always, peace and blessings to each and every one of you all out there. Have a blessed day, guys. And remember, if you have some mulch that you can put on the top of your potatoes, go ahead and also do that. Helps to hold in that moisture. Have a blessed day, guys.